Hey y'all, it's Megan. If you are returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome aboard. So we're back to Disney stuff, guys. We're going to talk about some tips and tricks for going to the parks today, but we're going to talk today things that I think sound pretty awful as far as Disney recommendations, but I swear they're not. So people who go to Disney spend a lot of time telling you what you should and shouldn't do when you go, right? That's kind of a thing. You ask for opinions, or even if you don't, Disney people will just kind of tell you. It's not one of our better traits. But today I thought it would be fun to talk about some of the things that if you say them and you don't explain them, they sound like really, really bad advice. But hear me out. Some of these actually kind of make sense. I'm going to start with one that is kind of, not controversial, but people may or may not agree with me, and that is take a solo trip. Go to Disney by yourself. If you have kids, go without your kids. If you are married, go without your partner. Go by yourself sometimes. I have not done it since being married, but I did it a lot when I worked there. And I think that was probably even harder to do then than it would be now. Now I'm more of an adult. I was 19 when I worked at Disney, so I was still very nervous to like go and do things alone. Like the idea of eating alone at a restaurant or going into a theme park by yourself was kind of a like kind of thing for me at the time, and I feel like now it would be not that big a deal. I just haven't done it. I should probably practice what I preach, but definitely go on a solo trip. I don't mean that you have to necessarily be like, all right, I'm going to Disney for 2 weeks, like peace, love you, bye. But if you are on a family trip and there's a day where people don't necessarily want to go to the parks or whatever, don't feel like you can't go by yourself. Just because other people are like, I'm done for the day, I'm ready to head back. Don't feel like you can't go back into the parks by yourself. You will find some great things about being at the parks alone. Yes, being at the parks with family, awesome. Nothing better than making those memories with your kids, with your partner, with a friend. But there's also something really cool about being by yourself. First thing, most obvious thing, you make the rules. There's no one there being like, I don't want to do that. I don't like that show. I don't want to ride that. I'm hungry. Let's go do this. It's all you. It's all about you. You want to ride something? Go ride it. You want to eat a little something, something? Go get it. If you want to just sit on a park bench and look at the tree of life for 2 hours, do it. It's so freeing to be like, I make the rules. It's all about me. And that's not necessarily always the case when you're there with people. Even if you and your friend or partner really like the same things, y'all are gonna have a difference of opinion on occasion. My husband and I love the same rides. We love the same foods. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? I could probably ride Everest another 6 times in a row. What about you? And he's like, no, I think the first 5 were good. So if I was by myself, I could just keep getting back on that puppy. And you don't have to ask for permission. You don't have to feel bad or guilty or like you're burdening anyone else with your Disney joy. Kind of going along with that, it's just more relaxing when you're not having to cater to other people, especially if you're there with a whole family. If you're trying to corral, husband, wife, kids, grandma, grandpa, if you're trying to get everyone involved and everyone do everything together, that is stressful. When I went on my honeymoon, that was my husband's very first trip to Disney. He was like, I don't know anything. You make the itinerary. You take me everywhere. And you would think that that would be fun for a Disney freak, but no, that was, I was like, I don't know what he's gonna like. I don't know. Do you get motion sickness? I don't know if you get motion sickness. This is something I feel like you should know about your spouse before you're married, but I didn't. I'm like, I don't know. Do you want to like eat? Do you like food? Like, I've known this man since I was 12, and I'm asking him questions like, do you like food? So it just takes a lot of stress off of you if you don't have to be trying to cater to other people. Whether you love those people or not, they can stress you out. So just being by yourself, you have the freedom to not have to worry about anyone but you. Another little benefit of going on a solo trip is you can ride single rider lines. Now, they're not at every attraction, but the ones that do have them, that cuts down your wait time intensely. I remember when I worked at Disney, I went to Animal Kingdom one time by myself, and I just had a conniption of some variety, I guess. I forgot that they had a single rider line, and I literally stood in line and waited by myself for almost 2 hours at Expedition Everest. I would like to have an explanation other than I lost my mind, but I don't. So if you actually take advantage of the single rider lines, those can be really helpful. Sometimes, Rock and Roller Coaster does have a tendency to have a pretty long single rider line, But for the most part, single rider lines are going to be faster than the standby queue, so you're able to do more quicker when you're by yourself. Even if there's not a single rider queue, you always know, if you've been to Disney, you know that at some point you're going to get to where the cast members are going, parties of one or two, parties of one or two, and you're ready with that one. You be ready with that one, and they'll pull you out of the line, and you'll probably get to fill in a space pretty quickly. My next thing that sounds like an awful idea, but I swear, listen to me, it's a two-part thing. Stay during the rain and don't bring an umbrella. Now you're saying, Megan, if I'm staying during the rain, your girl's gonna have an umbrella. I hate umbrellas. They are a pain in the tuchus when you are at Disney because you have to use your hands. I prefer a poncho or a raincoat. I like raincoats better than ponchos just because they don't stick to me like saran wrap. So I always recommend, when people ask me what should I take, I always say rain jacket. Wear a rain jacket. If it's a big one, you can put it over your backpack and you're good. That's why a lot of people do like to take umbrellas, because they do cover like more, but it's usually sideways blowing wind. The umbrella's not gonna help you all that much anyway, in my experience. If you like umbrellas, go off, you do you. I just happen to absolutely loathe umbrellas. So if it starts raining in the park, I just pull out my rain jacket, which is easy to cram in the bottom of the bag, and just pop that puppy on, cinch it down so that only this much of my face is showing, and then, you know, from here to my upper thighs is dry. My legs are gonna be wet, but I'm in shorts, so, you know, my skin will dry. I'm not made of sugar. Also, stay in the park while it's raining, because if you're familiar with Florida at all, you know that that rain's probably not gonna last all that long. If it's around 2, 3 in the afternoon, it's gonna pass. So take that opportunity. I like to save some of the indoor attractions or things that have indoor queues for that time of day. I like to go to the Hall of Presidents, to the shows at Epcot in one of the pavilions in France or America. I like to go to a show or something that has a very long indoor queue. Think Rise of the Resistance, most of that queue is inside. Rock and Roller Coaster, a lot of that queue is inside. Go to things that have very long queues that are indoors. PhilharMagic, another great one. You wait in line indoors, you go inside, you watch an indoor show, get a little air conditioning, and then you come out and you're like, wow, it's really steamy out here because it rained while I was in there. Carousel of Progress, mwah, perfect. Beautiful way to use up that time while it's raining. So I like to save some of those things that I want to do. Like, I want to do the Hall of Presidents, I want to ride Carousel of Progress. I want to do those things, but why do them like first thing in the morning when I could do them while it's raining and make good use of that time? A lot of lines are going to clear out pretty quickly after the rain, so you'll be able to get onto some of the higher ticket items right after the rain stops. So that's another good reason to just kind of hang out if it's raining some. But another thing about the rain, if you can't or don't or won't avoid it or go into an indoor attraction, just enjoy it. The rain in Florida isn't that bad usually. It's warm outside. A little bit of moisture ain't gonna kill you, and sometimes it's kind of fun to, like, if you get caught in it and you just get immediately drenched, you're just like, whatever, we're here, and you just kind of just keep going through the park. You have the park basically to yourself. Take some fun rainy day pictures, get some pictures stomping in some puddles. Little ones absolutely love and adore that. So if you can't avoid it, embrace it. My last little thing that I'm going to mention is avoiding or going on a ride just because of what you've heard about it. Let me explain. So you may hear all of this stuff about Rise of the Resistance, the best ride I've ever seen, it's the most amazing technology, oh it's amazing, oh it's a Star Wars, you're in it. If you don't care about Star Wars, and you're like, I don't really know that I'm gonna wanna ride this, but like people are gonna be mad if I don't ride this most amazing ride ever created by a human, then you don't have to ride it. You can be like, that's not my thing. I'm gonna go do something else. If someone tells you, oh, Peter Pan is overrated, it's like a 2-minute ride and you have to wait in line for so long, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason that you should ever, ever, ever ride Peter Pan unless you have a toddler who desperately wants to ride it or can't ride anything else. But you love Peter Pan? Ride Peter Pan. I am never gonna let someone tell me that I can't go and enjoy the Jungle Cruise just because I happen to have worked there and I know all the jokes, and like, why would you want to do something that you did over and over and over? Because I like it. That's why. So if you know you like something or you know you don't like something, you don't have to appease other people. Those other people can include people in your party. There are, you know, exits that you can take if you want to wait in line with your party and be like, hey, I'm dipping out. Cast members will help you do that. If your whole party wants to do this attraction and you just really want to do something else, or they don't want to do something that you really want to do, refer back to my first tip, solo trip this thing. Be like, y'all go ahead and go enjoy Rise of the Resistance. You know what I'm feeling? I am just really feeling some Mickey and Minnie's Runaway, I can't say it. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. There we go. If that's your jam, go ride it by yourself. Ain't nobody stopping you from having your joy at Disney. I'm sure I have said some things about an attraction that most people love and adore. The Country Bear Jamboree. I say it's creepy. I'm gonna let y'all all come to your own conclusions about that one. Maybe you love it. Maybe you absolutely love the blood in the saddle and all the guys who turn me on, turn me down. It creeps me out. So I have seen it. I have chosen not to partake anymore. But God bless, you go ahead and do it if you want to do it. Basically just take everyone's recommendations with a grain of salt and don't be deterred or forced into writing something just because of what you've heard about it. That is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any other things that sound like really bad ideas, but like they actually are good if you think about it or explain it, let me know what those are down below. I like to hear what y'all's tips are for going to the parks as well. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.